So, what's the best way to build your financial future if you're a business owner, company director? You've got various choices. So, what I've got here is here's your company, and your corporation tax rate is 25%. That means your profit is over 250,000. It works differently these days. That if your profit was less than 50,000, you'd pay 19% corporation tax, and if your profit's between 19 and 25, there's a sliding scale or a marginal rate that you pay. So to keep it simple, let's keep the corporation tax at 25%, and your profit's above 250,000. You've got 50,000 to play with. So it's coming towards the end of the company year. You've got 50,000. You've got a decision to make. Do you take it as a salary or bonus? Do you take it as a dividend? Do you take it as pension? Now, if you take salary, then you'll pay national insurance, employer and employee. You won't pay corporation tax because it's free of corporation tax, but you'll pay income tax when you get the money. And in your pocket, you'll have 34,650 from the 50,000 that the company's investing, which means a 69.3 extraction rate. If you take it as dividend, then there's no employer or employee national insurance, but there is corporation tax to pay because dividend comes after you've paid the corporation tax, and there'll be income tax to pay on it. And what you end up in your pocket, if you're a higher rate taxpayer, will be 26,239. Which means you've got a 52.48% profit extraction rate. So in other words, of the 50,000 the company's paid, just over half goes into your pocket. If it goes into pension, there's no employer or employee national insurance, there's no corporation tax, there's no income tax. The whole 50,000 goes into your pot. So it's 100% extraction rate. Now, if you leave the money in the company and don't pay it out at all, which is another strategy, so you're now saying your company is your pension, then that's fine, so long as you don't get into any sort of trading difficulties between now and when you need to exit, whatever way you choose to exit, whether you choose to sell or to hand over to someone else to run it for you and pay you an income. But if you get into any sort of trading difficulties, then you've got the creditors to worry about because they can maybe get their hands on what you've built up in the company. And if they do, there mightn't be much left for you. So that's the big threat, really. If you're going to look to sell your company, then will you be able to sell it very easily? Will it be systemized sufficiently to be able to sell a business that runs when you're not there? Will you have a team that's effective enough and harmonious enough and skillful enough to be able to run a company either that you sell, or if you want someone to run the company and pay you an income, again, is your team capable of doing that? And the other thing is, if you are coming to sell, then will it be the right time? Will the market conditions, supply and demand, will the market conditions be propitious, if you like? Will they be suitable to actually be able to sell the company? Will it be a good time? So there's lots of issues about leaving the money in the company. So for most people, it seems to make sense to at least get a significant portion out of the company into your own pocket. Now, if it goes into your own pension pot here, then first of all, you've had tax relief on the way in, you've had tax-free growth, but you also can take generally 25% at the other end as what's called pension commencement lump sum, i.e. free of tax. You've got great flexibility about how you take the benefits, and you've probably got the ability to make sure that your dependents can access the pot with no inheritance tax to pay. There's caveats to all of that because, you know, the rules are very complex, but in simple terms, that's the basic scenario. So then we just go back to one other thing. If you are looking to build your company up and maybe in combination of the other things, build your company up, then you need to be aware that there are 8 key strategies that work for virtually any business. And that's whether you're manufacturing, distribution, or whether you're professional services with clients. These 8 strategies generally will work for virtually any business and will be the most effective route you can follow if applied one at a time to actually build the value of your business. So typically you might be able to say double your bottom line profit over a year, 2 years, probably maybe less than that, by applying these strategies. So if you want any information on how any of this works, then please get in touch. If you want to leave comments or pass it on for other people to look at, please feel free. So what I'm really saying is that it's not just, should you be paying money into your pension, and it's not just about should you be building your company, growing your company. The whole thing hangs together, really. What you do with the profit affects your financial future, but it also affects how the company operates in the future, and what you do with the company will affect all these options for you later on as well. So the whole thing's interrelated. I hope you found that useful and interesting. Obviously, that's just a short summary of a very complex area. And if you wanted me to look at your numbers and work out what your best strategy or route was, then let me know. Hope you found that useful and interesting. Thank you very much for your attention.